If you're planning a wedding while managing a full time career, a calendar that is already full, and approximately zero interest in turning this into a second job, then this video is for you. Because the couples who plan weddings most successfully are not the ones doing the most. They're the ones doing the right things in the right order with the right support. I'm Heather, a certified wedding planner, coordinator, and design consultant. I support couples with full lives who want a beautiful, thoughtfully planned wedding without the overwhelm sacrificing their time, energy, and sanity. These couples are very capable, they're just not interested in becoming part time wedding planners. Today, we will be discussing time constraints reality, delegation versus control, and where professional guidance comes into the process. So let's dive in. One of the biggest differences I see between overwhelmed couples and calm ones is where they begin. Busy couples don't start with Pinterest boards, spreadsheets, or a 53 tab checklist. They start with structure and avoid checklists in the early stages. In wedding planning, this would mean establishing your vision, determining your budget, timeline, and key logistics so that when you start the design process with the florals, decor, and rentals, every choice feels intentional and cohesive rather than scattered. This allows everything that follows to feel organized, intentional, and far less overwhelming. They understand that without a framework, every choice takes longer, costs more, and feels heavier than it needs to. Couples understand that clarity must lead up to creativity. It's all about setting boundaries, defining what matters most, and knowing the rules of the game before experimenting with ideas, designs, or details. Without that clarity, creativity can become unfocused, overwhelming, and misaligned. This is where couples lose most of the time by doing things in the wrong order. Busy couples are already making countless decisions every day with their careers and just life in general. So they treat time like the asset that it is. They don't believe in spending 10 hours researching something is automatically going to make it a better decision. Google is not your planning partner. Busy couples eliminate low impact decisions early and focus their time and energy where it truly matters, which is why these couples are the ones very aware of decision fatigue and they actively plan around it. They don't treat every decision as equally important. They certainly do not attempt researching everything themselves because at some point, scrolling stops being productive and starts being self sabotage. One of the primary challenges modern couples face is access. They do not ask everyone for input. They do not build their wedding by committee, and they do not confuse inspiration with instruction. You can access thousands of opinions, vendors, trends, and timelines in seconds. But access is not the same as expertise. Too many opinions don't create clarity, they create noise. These couples are very selective about where their guidance comes from. They value curation over community input. Your group chat is wonderful for memes, less wonderful for logistical planning. I'm curious and would love to know what part of wedding planning feels like it's taking more time than it should right now. Drop it in the comments below. If you are finding this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with someone you know planning a wedding. Coming up next, I will talk about design for confidence, experiences, not checklists, delegating with intention, and my final thoughts. One of the most significant drains on time and energy is revisiting decisions. Busy couples gather the right information and make thoughtful choices and then move forward confidently. They're not reopening decisions at midnight because a TikTok showed them something new. Busy couples do not obsess over every individual detail. They're less concerned with individual moments and more focused on how the wedding feels, the guest experience, how moments flow, and how the day unfolds. This shift in perspective simplifies everything, but it is not the one most couples naturally arrive at. Delegation is a skill, and couples shouldn't try to do it all. They understand that delegation without expertise can actually create more work. And they do not delegate randomly. They assign responsibility intentionally to people who understand the full picture and not just individual tasks. There's a difference between handing something off and handing something off to the right person. This is often where calm replaces chaos. If this approach resonates, it's likely because you recognize the value is not in doing more, but being well supported. At a certain point, career driven couples recognize something important, that planning well does not mean doing it alone. They understand that having strategic guidance, someone who sees the full picture, anticipates challenges, and protects their time is not about luxury, it's about balance. And that support allows them to remain present, not just on the wedding day, but throughout the planning process. The couples who enjoy their weddings the most are not doing more. They're supported well, guided thoughtfully, and are free to stay present. And that's what allows them to actually enjoy this season rather than manage it. Make sure you subscribe. I share insights here every week designed specifically for couples who want to plan without overextending themselves. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Happy planning.